Hi everyone and welcome to Homerino Collectibles. Today we're going to be taking a look at the all-new X-Men Marvel Legends box set Iceman. But before we get to the figure, let's take a look at the box and a few size comparisons with the rest of the set. Okay, so first up we're going to take a look at the box, and it looks absolutely fantastic for a display. It says all new X-Men, says Marvel Legends, you've got the sticker there for the Toys R Us exclusive. Extremely nice display artwork. It is actually the cover art of the new comics. So yeah, extremely nice. So it's held on via Velcro, and when we open it up, you can see the figures inside. They look absolutely awesome as well. I would say definitely this is probably the best way to display these guys. But if we move this box over to the right a little bit, you can also see there it's exactly the same artwork as on the front of the box, except it now says, "With mutants on the brink of civil war, heroes from the past are summoned to protect the future." And then you have Marvel's Angel, Marvel Girl, Marvel's Cyclops, Iceman, and Marvel's Beast. So very nice. It's just an expanded version of the front artwork. If we move it around to the back now, you can see it says exactly the same at the top there. So I do wish that they had come up with a different line. But now you actually see all of the figures themselves. So very nice. I do kind of find it strange that while Cyclops and Iceman are looking at the camera, they couldn't make these three look at the camera. But either way, box looks really great, so let's move on. And here they all are out of packaging, and first thing, they look absolutely fantastic together. These figures should be kept together as a set, whether it be in the box or on display. They really do look awesome together. However, the belts is the one thing that you can see when they're all together that is different. So Jean's belt, it's made slightly different to the others. It's not just one bit of flat plastic, it has the rim on it, but we'll get closer to that. And then also Cyclops and Angel's belts, they are smaller than Jean's and Beast's, so they're not all exactly the same, but they're fine because at least they come with the belts with the X-Men logo on it. But as you can see, we have a very good size difference here, you know, being Beast taller, and then Iceman and Marvel Girl are a little smaller, so that's how they look together. Let's get on with the review. So, first up with this figure then, I'm just going to talk about brittleness. Now, a lot of people have mentioned actually breaking this figure. I know Sharpmas Prime, when doing his review, broke the foot, and there's other people complaining about legs breaking and whatnot. I was a plastic fabrication engineer, and I can tell you that whenever you heat plastic up, i.e. to bend it or to put it into a mould, for example, to make a figure or whatever, the structure changes and it does become brittle. However, with any clear plastics out there, more so than ever, they really do get a lot more brittle than any other type of plastic. So if there's people out there that are very skeptical in thinking, how can it be more brittle than other things you just happen to break more, they are actually more brittle. Clear plastics are more brittle. For example, polycarbonate, completely clear plastic, is pretty much bulletproof. It's what they use for windows in, like, you know, presidential vehicles and stuff instead of glass, and what they use to make the booths around the stands for, like, public speakers so that they don't get shot. However, if you heat it up to bend it to make it into a certain shape, or if you were to use it for a mould, that is one of the most brittle plastics out there. That will snap very easy. You won't have much flex to it, and that's the whole point. These figures, obviously, when you're moving joints, sometimes they have a little bit of give because you're not putting pressure right in the perfect spot to actually move the joint. But a lot of them are very forgiving, and obviously, you know, you don't feel that. But with clear stuff, be very careful. So instead of, you know, moving the knees, for example, by holding it down here, just move it up closer to the knee. Instead of moving the legs round and moving it down here, move it closer to the joint. Then there's not going to be as much flex, so you're not going to get as much potential there of breaking it. But for the most part, that's that out of the way. And to get into the figure itself, I actually really like the pose that I've got him in here. I'll be displaying him like this after the review, but it is the claw mold, and here is Claw. I will be reviewing this as part of my Terrax Wave reviews, but a lot of people don't like that mold. Now, I think that the claw, actual like the artwork and stuff on the box looks a lot like what they've done with that figure. But as a mold to be used for other figures, I don't like it too much because, for example, there's way too many lines in the chest. Like, that is just way too many. I mean, even for someone who is super ripped, that just kind of looks weird to me. And then with these shoulder pieces, I mean, you know, you've got just a general sort of ball swivel shoulder here. It's got some molded in detail for muscles, but it's not very much. So to get traps like this that are absolutely huge and then just go into a shoulder muscle that's just practically non-existent, it does look kind of strange, to be honest. Now, I think this may have been used for a Vision in the past, and I think that that would look perfect for a Vision because, you know, Vision's a robot. He doesn't have to look perfectly human-like, does he? But for an Iceman, it is kind of a strange way to go, but I do like how this mold is actually smaller than like the Bucky Cat mold and whatnot. So, I mean, he is actually a smaller person, you know, compared to the rest of the X-Men. So, I do like the mold size-wise. It's just those little points, just these bits going onto the shoulders, and just the lines on the chest that I don't like too much. But every other part of this mold I do really enjoy, except for these joints, but that's just every single figure that has these joints. I really don't like them. The T-ball joint things. I mean, they work quite well on this figure. You know, they're not too tight. So if I just move the leg up, the ball sort of rotates. You just, you know, give it a little swivel and it'll come up with it. Normally, you have to kind of really get in there and turn the ball yourself. But you know, works quite well. As you can see, the ball's moving quite freely. This one's a little bit stiffer, but not by much. But my main problem is if I just straighten this one out for you, as you can see, this is him standing straight, and the feet are two different heights. This one is higher up than this one. I find that a lot of the time with figures that use this particular style of leg joint, that the hips are actually attached at different points, or the thighs, sorry, attached at different points to these balls, and it's just really kind of weird. I really don't like these joints, and that's the main reason, because the legs are pretty much never the same size. So obviously standing up, as you can see, if I just bring the camera up a little bit here, he's standing to one side, so I have to bring this leg out to get him to stand upright. So I shouldn't need to do that. I should be able to stand him upright with the leg down here. But apart from that, you know, that's all the bad points out the way. From here on in, it's a good review. So I like the hand choices that they've gone for here. So he's got an open hand that I think is moulded very nicely. I'll give it a bit of focus. I actually really do enjoy that. And then this hand, it would have been nice maybe to have either another open hand or a fist, because he looks like he's holding something, but you know, I guess it could be good for some customizers, because they could create like a kind of ice bomb or something and have him holding something. That would be quite cool. But paint job, it's sort of semi-clear. You can see through some parts, and you can see inside where the plastic's like glued up and running inside, so it actually looks like icicles on the inside of his body. So I think that that looks absolutely awesome. It's got a little bit of pearlescentness to it, which is nice, so you can see a bit of a kind of silvery, purpley, bluey kind of effect when you hold it in different lights. I think that looks really cool. You can see he's got really nice white eyes. I think the head sculpt is done brilliantly. Really, really nice. Everything else on the figure really is very, very nice. So as I say, you know, as you move this figure around, just hold it at the joints and you'll be perfectly fine. So articulation, head moves up, very good. Down, not as much as I'd like. I really do like it when figures can look very far down, but still good. And then you got your left and right movement, shoulders all the way up to here, and then a full 360 all around. Swivel at the bicep, double jointed elbow. The hands can come in and out in a full 360. Ab crunch doesn't move back. That's one thing that I also really don't like about this mold. It doesn't move back very much, but forward ab crunch is very good. We have a swivel at the waist, and then as you already saw, the T-jointed ball joints up here at the hips, swivels at the thighs, double jointed knees, and then the feet go only back that one click. Be careful, that's when Shartmus Prime broke his, thinking it could go way more because the bookie cap goes literally straight down. But up goes 2 clicks up, and then you can rotate them, but no ankle pivot. And he also has peg holes in the feet. So on the whole, I really do enjoy this figure, one of my favourites from the set, if not my favourite from the set, aside from the Jean Grey figure. I do feel that it's kind of annoying how obviously I've got one with legs that are differently spaced apart and whatnot. I really hate these kind of joints in the hips. I really wish they would just stop using them altogether. And then obviously you've got the big traps, which I don't think look too out of place and whatnot because of him being in this colour, and I like it on the actual claw figure itself, but if they used it for anyone else, I really do feel that these shouldn't be as big, or they need bigger shoulders, and I don't really like the lines here. But apart from that, I really do like it. The head sculpt's awesome. I love the colour of the plastic that they've used, how it's like sort of semi-transparent, and it's just got that awesome pearlescentness to it. He looks awesome next to the other X-Men, and I've got to say it's the best Iceman ever made, for me personally. I don't enjoy the character as much as other X-Men, so it's really unbiased to me, really. I'm just looking purely at this as a figure and not as a character, and I do think that this is the best ever made. But I definitely do think that they could have done a lot better than this guy, but for something that's come out in a box set, I think they've done a great job. So to watch the other guys from this box set, go ahead and click the links in the description, and if they're not there yet, it's because the videos aren't up, so go ahead and subscribe, and you can watch the rest of the wave as and when I get them up. I'll also be doing the Terrax wave very soon, and I'm also getting Sinister 6 videos up. So thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time.